Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, the live Superman show brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. In this, our June 6th, 2022 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including rumours and speculation about what Warner Brothers are thinking of doing with Superman in the movies. We're going to be talking about the latest episode of Superman and Lois, comic books. We'll do our weekly segments and so much more. We're also going to turn to you to ask for your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve.
How you doing?
How's it going?
I'm well. And yourself?
It can't be better, man. And you know what? This show just got a lot easier because before, when we would go through this whole spiel about going to Skype and all that, and you got to find Superman homepage and don't call us, we'll call you, and all that kind of stuff. No, that's all in the past. We have streamlined the process, and there is a handy QR code that you can find, which there it is. Basically, just visit supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button, or with your fancy dancy phone device, scan that QR code and do the same thing, because Mark Lax can do it. I'm pretty, and this is not an insult to Mark, but Mark figured it out, so it seems to be pretty easy to do.
Indeed, and if you don't want to call in tonight, but you still want to be part of the show, then feel free to comment on YouTube. Everyone who is listening and watching via YouTube Live tonight has the opportunity to comment, ask questions, chat with fellow fans who are watching the show live. Michael and I will keep an eye on that as the show goes along, and we will react to your questions and comments and answer them as we can. But if you'd like your question or comment featured on the screen live during the show, that's called a super chat. All you have to do is click the dollar symbol there on YouTube. A slider will appear on your screen. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate, and we will feature your comment or question live on the screen. There's also a super thanks and a super sticker available if you want to do something fancy. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up, a like right now on YouTube as you're watching. Really appreciate that for all the people who are tuning in live with us tonight. And thank you to our patrons and sponsors, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And if you want to sponsor the show, support us, click the dollar symbol, click the join button below. There are different levels of perks for different levels of membership. Mike, it's been a little bit of a quiet week, except for the big rumor that went out and about.
Yeah.
And absolutely kind of the hits went up on the website and people were just going ballistic about this, chatting about it. There has been a little bit of kind of misinformation, or a little bit of leading people to believe the wrong thing by the way the quotes were made, but we'll get into that in a second. But is there anything off the top that's been of interest to you this week in the world of Superman?
Just the return of Superman and Lois, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And my chair keeps falling down, so that's kind of fun.
Thought maybe having an earthquake then.
No, it's just
it's losing its
This chair is on its way out. Probably not the best chair purchase I've ever made, but it's almost like 4 years old at this point, and they don't make chairs like they used to, and I can say that from work experience. So anyways, no, it's just I think it's because it's so quiet that this rumor hit as big as it did, because there was no other. I mean, the Super Pets movie is still kind of heading up its hype machine, but that's not really doing much. There's no movement on any of the other projects that are in the pipeline, which kind of gives the rumor a bit more fuel for the fire, so to speak.
Exactly, and the big rumor was, according to therap.com, who have come up with some good ones in the past and can be a little bit hit or miss with their insider information, but they believed that a DC insider over there kind of gave them the indication that David Zaslav, the new CEO at Warner Discovery, is looking to reshape the Warner Brothers Pictures film slate with Superman as a focal point. Now, that's not a quote from David Zaslav directly. This is a DC insider saying that, as far as they are of the understanding, is that Zaslav has instructed his team to scratch every Superman project in development and start fresh with Cavill. Now, that's not the exact quote from Zaslav. This is the DC Insider saying that he believes they should do that, and Zaslav is, as we know, getting the broomstick out and cleaning up a lot of the projects that have been in development over at Warner Brothers. We know the Wonder Twins project went the way of the dodo. We know that other things that are going on at Warner Brothers are not necessarily taking shape the way we thought they might. So the indication is that there are a lot of turmoil and upheaval over there. People have left, people have come in, and this DC Insider believes that Superman should be the focal point, with Henry Cavill coming back to play that role. That's not a quote directly from David Zaslav telling this person that.
Yeah, and this is the thing where it has a little bit more credibility because there's kernels of truth like strewn throughout it. I was reading another article about the restructuring of Warner Brothers and how they're really trying to. The insider that spoke in this article was basically saying that Warner Brothers is trying to restructure itself to basically be a triangle, and at each point is one of the big tent poles of their IPs, and DC Comics, of course, is one of those. I knew as soon as I saw scrapping all Superman projects, I'm like, this is probably wishful thinking on the part of somebody, or somebody extrapolating it, because there was no official quote. There's no, he's not coming out and saying we're getting rid of all of this. If that is the case, this isn't the first time this has happened with Superman. If you look at the last 20 years of Superman film development, which I think is like a documentary in and of itself. I mean, I know there was that really, whatever happened to the death of Superman, or Superman Lives, which was kind of an interesting look at just that, but that was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't even touch on anything that happened in 2000. And I remember back when I was just a guy that came and visited the Superman homepage, it was a daily thing to come in and look at the latest rumor that was coming out, and we went through the whole Superman flyby thing. We went through the whole, is it going to be a Superman Batman film with Wolfgang Peterson directing? And the problem with all of that is all of that development that went into it, and writing scripts and paying writers hundreds of thousands of dollars and production people to get costumes and stuff developed, is that all of that went on to the budget of Superman Returns, which is why, even though looking from outside, it's just like, wait a second, it seemed to double or triple its budget, but all that other stuff got added onto it, so it wasn't the huge Batman Begins type success that they were hoping for. And it just goes to show that this company has had like 2 decades of screwing Superman up royally on a number of levels with only a few successes, and I will count Man of Steel as one of those successes. Because, like it or not, it got eyes on the character again. It brought in a whole new fan base to fight with the other fan bases, which is, I think, Superman's way. But if this is the case, then all of the money that was spent on those other projects is probably going to be pinned on this one. So if this one doesn't pop $1 billion, is it going to be another case of, oh, this just doesn't work out, Superman just isn't the thing, we'll move on to doing another Batman film?
Yeah, exactly. Now, everyone started going up in their arms about Superman and Lois being scrapped as part of this rumor. There was no indication that it had anything to do with the television side of things. They were talking about the projects that were in development. We know that there was the Ta-Nehisi Coates script for J.J. Abrams' produced Superman movie, whether that's supposed to be about a black Kal-El Clark Kent or not. There was the Michael B. Jordan Val Zod project for HBO Max. These are the projects that were supposedly in the firing line when it comes to talking about scrapping whatever's currently going on for the Superman character or the Superman family of characters, and just focusing on a Henry Cavill Superman film. I don't think they had any indication that they were looking at this TV side of the world.
Yeah, it's one of the shows that's doing better.
Yeah.
I mean, canceling Superman and Lois at this point would be kind of like shooting your television side in the foot, because it's one of the shows that one, didn't get canceled.
Hmm.
And yeah, we could argue numbers and audience size and all that, and the fact that maybe I don't think they really gave Naomi a shot. All these other shows. Batwoman was in its fourth season, I believe. Was it its fourth? Yeah, I think it's fourth season. Good Lord, time marches on. And Legends was in its seventh. So, and that is not to say that those shows should have been canceled. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. Please put your pitchforks and rake thingies away. That you got from the Frankenstein lot. But Naomi really didn't get a shot. And I'm just gonna say it, that Gotham Knights trailer did nothing for me. It's basically like they took a bunch of obscure Batman characters, threw their name in a hat, picked out 4, and then had as their lead rando Bruce Wayne's adopted son that had nothing to do with being Robin, and it was just like, this is what you're going with, despite and canceling all of those. Now, it could be that Gotham Knights was just so far into production, they're pulling the plug on it right now. It just doesn't do any good, and they're going to throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. But Superman and Lois is a solid ratings winner. It is something that Warner Brothers can sell internationally to other markets. I mean, you get it pretty much the same day, I think, as we get it.
Yep.
And the UK is very far behind, but that makes it one of the top 10 downloaded shows illegally, which I'm sure is one of those things that Warner Brothers looks at and is just like, man, I don't really like that, but I guess it shows interest.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe we need to start doing it legally. So on a personal level, I'd love it. I'd love for them to kind of just scoot everything to the side. Nothing against anybody involved with the Valsad movie or the Coates movie. I'm sure they're great ideas. Cavill, speaking of never getting a shot, I don't think he got a fair shot. I don't think he's gotten a chance to be the Superman that I think he wants to be. He got to introduce the character in one movie, die in another, and come back in a third, and then come back again in another third, which is good feat there, Henry. Like coming back twice in the same film on different Earths apparently. So it would be nice to have him be in a more traditional Superman film. That is not to say that we need to go back and do a Christopher Reeve type Superman film or anything like that. Just something that's more traditionally Superman instead of trying to reinvent the wheel.
No, I agree. I think Cavill deserves another shot. He's still in shape. He's still young enough for another solo film. Whether or not he gets more after that or not, that remains to be seen. Just give him another shot at having a Superman solo film that doesn't involve Batman, Wonder Woman, or any of the other characters outside of his own world. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they bring back Clark Kent, because I think we need to see more of Clark Kent for Henry Cavill's version of Clark Kent. I'd love to see. There was a rumor out there, or somebody was coming up with an idea, like, imagine a movie where Clark Kent is being hunted by the FBI because of something he's written as a Daily Planet reporter, without the FBI realizing that he is Superman, and the shenanigans that would ensue with Clark Kent being hunted down, whether it's the FBI, whether it's the mafia, whether it's anybody, but not really. It's Clark Kent who's in the firing line, but they don't realize that he's Superman. And they've done that before in their old radio series. There was times there where Clark Kent would get kidnapped because of something he'd written in the Daily Planet, and they wanted to rub him out, and him getting knocked on the head and pretending that he was unconscious while they tied him up and left him in a cabin somewhere, and he had to try to work out how to be able to escape without giving away his secret identity. Stuff like that I think would be an interesting way of having a Clark Kent focused Superman film, but how they bring back a dead Clark Kent who has a grave in this universe remains to be seen.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I cannot believe how short-sighted No, I take that back. I don't think it was Zack Snyder being short-sighted. I think it was Zack Snyder very purposefully getting rid of Clark Kent as a secret identity. Because he strikes me as somebody that doesn't see that as necessary to Superman as a character. And I don't know if he's of the secret identities or silly camp, because Bruce Wayne, despite the fact of Lex Luthor discovering that Bruce Wayne was Batman, Bruce Wayne's identity was not public at all. So, you still had that, but outside of, in the Snyder Cut, Luthor giving that information to Deathstroke, you could easily do it where it's Intergang that's coming after him. He's written an expose, and now they're sending all of their high-tech heavy hitters after him. So you do have like a main bad guy, but you can throw in Metallo and like Shockwave, and I know I'm
even Parasite
here. The Parasite, just like just throwing all of these kind of random cool Superman villains at Clark Kent, and so you have plenty of great Superman fights. But the undercurrent is that it's Clark Kent that's in danger. I like that idea. I like that idea at all. I just think that it's interesting that the rumors of more Superman projects seem to be more pronounced this time.
Yeah.
Whereas when AT&T took over, it was very much like, oh yeah, we'll get to that Superman thing, but tell me more about this Batman character that you have. Whereas now it seems like, no, we need to do something with Superman. We need to do something with the DC side of things just in general. It's got to be embarrassing to a certain extent to be a major media company with IPs like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkman, Cyborg, Martian Manhunter, all these characters, and you've done really very little to take advantage of those IPs. Meanwhile, the House of Mouse next door has been rocking Marvel characters for over a decade now, and has over 20 some odd films, many of which have popped over $1 billion, in their halls. So it's just got to be like, what are we doing? And the answer is they're doing what Warner Brothers always did, which was have this snooty air, like, oh, we're not going to be like that. You're not going to be like a successful film franchise. That's not the flex you think it is.
No, exactly. And this story gained a lot of traction. 72,446 views on our story to date.
No.
So I'm sure the Wrap got 1 million more, but it was interesting that people were so wrapped up in this idea of Henry Cavill coming back to play Superman with mostly positive vibes in response to that story.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can get people to agree. Like people across party lines, so to speak. Henry Cavill always seems to be the one thing that everyone agrees on, like, oh, he's good.
Yeah.
We're going to disagree about everything else surrounding him, but he himself is good.
Yeah, he's good. The script might have not been. The costume we can argue about. Snyder we can definitely have disagreements about. But Henry Cavill himself, great guy.
Yeah,
So we'll see where this goes. If there is any developments on that front, we will keep you posted and keep you in the loop. The more we find out, the more you will know. All right, well, that's all there is on the movie side of things, but we did have finally a new episode of Superman and Lois that aired on our TV screens last week, May 31st there. I think it was June 1st here. It was the episode titled Lies That Bind. Michael, you gave this a 5 out of 5 rating. This was the direct aftermath of Lana finding out that Clark is Superman. Interestingly, a lot of people took umbrage with the fact that she seemed to be more angry at Lois than she was at Clark. That she had more of a grind, a point to prove with Lois than she did with Clark himself, which was an interesting kind of, I don't know, was it a female dynamic? We're supposed to be friends, we're supposed to trust each other. I gave you so much of myself, and yet you held back so much of yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where I too saw people like kind of annoyed with Lana and not understanding it. To me, it makes sense at a number of levels. One, she hasn't known Lois as long as Clark. I'm gonna be fully honest. I wasn't 100% sure that this Lana and Clark had dated in high school.
No, neither was I.
I don't remember them coming out and like flat out saying that. I mean, we saw like him pining for her a little bit in the flashback episode from season 1, but I was just like, until this episode, I was like, oh, so they did date.
Briefly, obviously.
Briefly, but there was something there, and it's funny when you have a writing staff that actually put thought into the dynamics instead of just having Lana be mad at Clark about something, which I hear you can make an entire TV series about, or at least the first 5 seasons. But they really put a lot of thought in and made the point that she said, I get why he kept it from me. This is a huge secret, and now he's Superman, so that's even a bigger secret. However, I opened up to you. I was completely honest with you, her to Lois. I was completely honest with you about everything. And there were many times when the entire town was in danger and you knew more than you were saying and just didn't have the trust in me. Now, Lois said it wasn't my secret to tell, which is right. This is the thing about revealing the identity to anybody. And it's why Jordan and Jonathan are right in their teenage anger. That it's just like, I'm tired of keeping this secret. But everyone knowing who Superman is a paradigm shifting event for their family. They do not have privacy after that. And when you start picking and choosing who you tell, then things get even more complicated. Like, who does Lana tell now? Well, she was going to tell Sarah, but then decided not to burden a 15-year or 16-year-old with the identity of the world's greatest superhero. And they're on a break, which kind of broke my heart. But I got totally where Lana was coming from with Lois. And I think the best thing about it is that they kept having conversations.
Yes.
Instead of just being
passive
annoyed with each other. It's just like, wow, we're all acting like adults here. It's amazing how well things go after that. And this isn't a forever thing. I'm sure Lana is going to, at some point, come to some sort of peace and rebuild the friendship that they have. I mean, to be fair, being mayor of a city and knowing who the world's greatest superhero is probably a nice little thing to have in your back pocket. But I just, we've got the bigger focus. I was actually far more enamored, and I could not tell. I snorted. I laughed so hard when Clark brings Lois in, and there's Tal holding flowers. And it was just this great visual gag that just totally worked. And again, you had Tal explaining himself, and it made sense. Like, I was raised in this horrible thing. I finally find my brother, and he rejected me. And yes, Tal was trying to usurp human beings in favor of Kryptonians and totally remaking the Earth in Krypton's image. That's bad. But one, it was how he was raised. And two, there is something about being rejected that makes you do things that you wouldn't normally do. So I was just really impressed with how most of this episode was a bunch of people talking about their feelings, and it wasn't boring at all.
It's interesting that Tal Rho, if it wasn't for the Bizarro Universe version of Tal Rho, I think this one would come off across as a little bit weird or just out of character. But because we've seen him as the happy-go-lucky half-brother in the Bizarro world, you realize that had he been, that it's part of his character, it's part of his nature, but the nurture part of what he got brought up with in this universe twisted him. But there is still that nature side of him that is that kind of happy-go-lucky, please be my friend type of person that has been kind of, dragged out of him a bit, and he's kind of starting to come to that. So he's a likable character, but you just don't trust him. And once again, he vanishes at the end of this, and you go, well, typical. What's he going to do now? But you just don't know where he's going to turn up next.
But I don't think he's vanishing to do anything evil. I think he's actually vanishing because, one,
the opportunity was there.
In a red room reading books all day. I'm sure he's gotten a lot out of it. But I think it's more he needs some time to himself. I honestly think that it's going to come with him helping his brother. And it would be... I for 5 seconds the other day, I was like, wouldn't it be interesting if he went over to the Bizarro world? And then I thought, no, it wouldn't be interesting because he'd lose his powers within a couple of days and he wouldn't be much of a champion. No. So that's not going to happen.
Oh, we've got a bunch of questions. John Patrick Van Pelt has hit us with quite a few. What did you guys think of Sarah's singing performance in this episode? Well, we didn't get a lot of it, but it's kind of a bit of... Yeah.
It's the one thing that felt out of place.
I mean,
it's nothing against her talent, because she's got a lovely singing voice. I want to make a Taylor Swift joke, but I'm not going to. Because all of her songs are about heartbreak. But then again, she's a teenager, so that makes perfect sense to me. It was the one part where I honestly went, Kyle, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Kyle, are you bringing her to introduce her to your side piece? Is that? Oh, okay, good. That's not what you're doing.
No, it's not what you're doing. Now that the pendant is destroyed, is Smallville done with Ali Alston for this season? Not at all. She's still out there. She is definitely coming to be the big bad ending of this season. She's now combined, while the pendant stops her from allowing other people to combine with their other half. She is very powerful and will not lie low for very long.
Yeah, and she can absorb people's life essences. That's,
yes.
That's bad too.
Are we heading towards a parasite? Is she going to somehow
it would make sense with the name of the character. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they did a swerve with us.
Because, she's absorbing people's, powers and leaving them as husks, which is very much a parasite type of visual. John's also saying, did Jonathan, Jordan, and Natalie visit the Schuster mine in this episode without telling their parents? What kind of trouble do you think they will be in? Well, they definitely did visit without... They skipped school. They went hunting for the Cryptic XK to power her new suit, and it caved in. Jordan used his powers, saved them. There's definitely some ramifications coming there.
Yeah, it's she's building her own armor. We knew it was coming.
Yep, definitely. Do you guys think Lana should or shouldn't have lied to Sarah about Clark's secret identity? Michael kind of touched on that a little bit. I think it's a lot to burden her with, especially now that her and Jordan are not together, although it would help her explain what is happening with Jordan. But now I think that Lana knows about the doppelganger and everything else that comes along with the secret. It's like, it's too much.
Yeah, and her knowing the secret doesn't mean that things would be okay between them. She may go, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah, you're a freak.
Not so much you're a freak, more of...
You've been hiding something
You're
from
destined
me.
for something that that's not a life I want to live, and that's fair for her.
Yep. John also giving us a question saying, what kind of trouble do you guys think Jordan will be in after using his powers in the Schuster mine without permission from Clark? I don't think Clark really has a problem with him using his powers. It's around who and when he uses his powers. And, nobody was there. Nobody saw it. I think that there's going to be some ramifications looking at the trailer for the next episode about Jordan using his powers and when and how he uses them, but not because of that.
Yeah, and Clark's really got to. I mean, I know there's a lot going on, but Clark really has to start stepping up and being the one to mentor Jordan.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's just dropping the ball, and I think maybe seeing what happened with John L. and the other Superman, it's just like, oh, this could go so bad.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's some questions there. Thank you to John Patrick Van Pelt for those questions. Looking forward to the next new episode of Superman and Lois, which airs tomorrow night. It is titled All Is Lost. Here is the promo trailer for this particular episode. All Is Lost, episode 13 of season 2.
You can do things other people can't do.
I can keep her safe.
Not even Superman can keep everyone safe.
I feel like everyone hates me. I don't have a future.
I want to protect you from everything, but I have to learn to let you make your own mistakes.
So yeah, finally getting a father-son talk with Jordan and Clark having a nice moment there, talking about his purpose in life. Also, Jonathan questioning his purpose. What is my future? I don't have a future. And Jordan confronting Lana about, I can protect Sarah, and she's like, not even Superman can protect everyone. So that's an interesting conversation there between Jordan and Lana. I think that's one I didn't see coming, but I guess I should have.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so looking forward to this next new episode. As I said, 3 more to go after that, or 3 more to go. Looking forward to the finale that we're heading towards for season 2. And as we know, there is a season 3 coming, already been renewed. So looking forward to upcoming episodes. After tomorrow night's episode, there is 1 week break again, and for the 14th, and then we come back on the 21st and 28th. So looking forward to the final episodes of season 2 of Superman and Lois. And congratulations to the show, the series. It has been nominated 5 nominations in 3 categories for the Leo Awards. The 2022 Leo Awards which celebrate excellence in British Columbia film and television. Obviously, Superman and Lois is filmed mostly in Canada. So we congratulate them for cinematographer Stephen Meyer being nominated for Best Cinematography in a Dramatic Series for a brief reminiscence in between cataclysmic events. And then stunt coordinators have also been nominated for a couple of episodes, and the stunt team have also been nominated for a couple of episodes of Superman and Lois. So looking forward to seeing whether those people are successful in their nominations when the 2 nights that the Leo Awards are live streamed on YouTube, Tuesday, July 5th and Wednesday, July 6th. And then night 3 will be hosted live at the Hyatt Regency Hotel on Saturday, July 9th. So well done to those people for the nominations, and well deserved.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play some messages, come back on the flip side to talk comic books. We're going to do our fan favorite segment of the show, This Week in History, and so much more. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman in Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Faster than a bursting bubble, cleaner than a whistle. It's me, the Soaky Kid, with 2 brand new Soaky Fun Bath characters, Superman and Tennessee Tuxedo.
Tennessee, penguins can't fly.
I happen to be skydiving.
Without a parachute?
I knew I forgot something. Thanks, Superman. Look, 2 brand new Soaky toys.
Great stars, it's me, Superman.
And me, Tennessee Tuxedo. Time to wash up.
Up, and away!
Soaky soaks you clean in
Oceans full of fun.
scrubbly bubbly flippity floppity.
Clean before you're done.
Soaky soaks you clean and every girl and boy gets a toy. When it's empty, it's a toy.
This picture of the Soaky Kid proves we're real Soaky toys.
And we're back on Superman Homepage Live. Did you have a Soaky
That's
toy?
actually the first time I've heard the audio from that.
I know.
And I guess there was a rash of counterfeit Soaky toys.
Must have been.
So we had to have a small boy in a tub. Yeah, there's a lot wrong going on there, but it's just every week it's like I'm rediscovering the show along with the audience. It's great.
So, besides the fact that we've got a new QR code and everything to call in, which is there if you haven't scanned it yet and you want to come on the show tonight, other side.
Wrong
That's
way.
It.
There we go.
Michael gets to hear everything because in the past with Skype, he wasn't able to hear any of the audio of the commercials or the sounds we played. So I think he's very happy and gets one of these.
Seeing even better. Applause.
Really well. So, it's a long one. You're getting a standing ovation.
I was about to say.
Yeah. So,
guys, stop. Seriously.
Yes.
Embarrassing me.
All right, we're going to get into the fan favorite segment of our show. So here is our intro for where is it? It's here. There it is. And thank you to John, who points out with a super chat that yes, Superman and Lois has a rerun on June 21st, and then the finale on June 28th. I thought it was June 14th was the rerun, and then we had the 21st and 28th. But we'll confirm that anyway. We'll put it up on our website if that is not the correct information. But we always put up the upcoming week with all the details about Superman and Lois as we go along. But the fan favourite segment of our show, Michael, what was our question from last week for people to write in on?
What is your favorite Superman beach or bath towel? And, Robert Lewis wrote in, what a timely question. My wife ordered this for me just last week. Should be waiting for me when I return home from vacation.
Very
That's
nice.
A nice one.
Yes.
I like that one.
That is a cool one. Also, we had Tyler Hauser who wrote in saying, I've had this beach towel for almost 20 years. Well done. That's
a long time to have a beach towel.
That is. They don't usually last that long. They fade or they start to wear away. But there's a new one out at the moment, which is this one. It's available through Amazon. It's quite a nice one. It's a little bit animated type, but the QR code there if you want to actually pick this one up. You can scan that on your phone. That is a nice new Superman beach towel that's out available right now. Just kind of been released in recent weeks. But they're beach towels are really cool. I had one hanging on my door, Superman the animated series one. It's folded away somewhere at the moment, but pinned it up on the timber door, and it was there for quite a while before I reconfigured this room. And I've taken a big Superman one with a big S to the beach a number of times. So. Or the pool. So yeah, I love a Superman beach towel.
Absolutely.
So what's our new fan favourite question? Well, thank you to those guys who responded to that one and showed us their towels. What's our new fan favourite question for this week?
I'm looking forward to this one. And I'll have to remember to bring my choice in with me into the room. But what is your favorite Superman Blu-ray or DVD special edition packaging? And I'm just going to throw it out and not tell Steve that I was doing this ahead of time. if you would like your VHS one,
Yeah,
go ahead and share that. I mean,
definitely.
It's just any Superman home media.
Or even a laser disc. Remember them?
Yeah. I actually have a laser disc of Superman 2.
Nice.
A friend gave it to. No, of the first two movies. I have Superman 1 and 2. A friend just didn't need them anymore. He said, "You probably enjoy them, so I don't have a laser disc player."
Who cares?
But they look like records.
Yes.
In all honesty. But yeah.
They used to have I remember the first time I saw laser discs was at like the bowling alley, the 10-pin bowling, where they had like a big, like almost like a karaoke machine for film clips for music videos, and the laser disc thing would come out and it'd go into, like, you'd see it like a jukebox, like the old jukebox, and it'd bring out the laser discs and put it in, and it'd play the video clip of the music video of whatever song you chose up on the screens around the bowling alley. But yeah, laser discs. What was the other? The Blu-ray. What was DVD? What was there? Was another one that was out.
HD DVD or something like
yes,
that.
That's right. Yeah.
There was a. I know this is a family-friendly show, but there was a big, just like VHS versus Beta. There was HD, DVD, and Blu-ray, and porn went Blu-ray, so Blu-ray became the dominant form. Because I still have DVDs that when you pop them in, it's just like Warner Brothers was really big on pushing HD DVD, and it's just like you can watch pop-in things and all this other stuff on HD DVD, and it just evidently went to Blu-ray, and now we're in 4K, which is something I haven't invested in a player or anything. Though people tell me that the Superman the movie 4K looks very good. As long as you have the proper television, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have a player and the television for 4K. But yeah, there have been lots of great releases over the years. Steelbooks, special edition boxes that come with your movies that we want to see. The email address is on the bottom of your screen, info@supermanhomepage.com. Send us an email with a photo of your favourite DVD, Blu-ray, HDVD, Laserdisc, VHS, whatever it is, the box that it came in that was a special edition, or not even that, just whatever one that you think was the best looking one. I would love to see it in the fan favourite segment of our show when we return to this next week. All right, let's jump into our This Week in History, and then after that we'll take a caller.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bars of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Alrighty, we are hip deep in June now, so I don't have to have that weird week where there's some May, some June, and I'm looking all over the place. We're going to start in 1952 with Superboy, number 21, with Lana Lang, Magician. I guess it's really easy to pull a Superboy out of your hat. But,
especially when it's a giant.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, exactly. Going to 1962, we have Lois Lane Annual number 1, which of course is a reprint book, as most of the 80-page giant quarter costing ones. You got Lieutenant Lane, Baby Lois, Lois the Mermaid, Bizarro Lois, who just looks angry. And
she's got to do something about those eyebrows.
Yeah, it's Lois Lane Unibrow, and of course her sitting there dreaming of being married to Superman right after she reveals his identity, because Silver Age Lois was complicated. We also had World's Finest number 127, which has Superman just smacking the heck out of a monster in a story called Sorcerer from the Stars. And I'm glad that they're actually doing something, because like in the 40s and the 50s, the World's Finest covers are like Superman and Batman and Robin like surfing,
riding bikes,
and going skiing. And here at least they're fighting monsters.
Yes.
So that's good. Jumping ahead to 1972, we have Superman number 255, The Sun, S-U-N, of Superman, which is a appropriately disaster. It's the 70s. Disaster films are popular. Hopping ahead to 1982, we have Superman number 375, where, of course, Vartok shows up, and everything just goes to hell. as usual. And of course, this also had a new tale of Krypton's final day. We're going to find out what Chad was doing. No, that's a joke. That's not what happens at all. Hopping to 1992, we have Superman Annual number 4, which was part of the Calypso, The Darkness Within. Another Joe Quesada, who recently retired from Marvel after 22 years. And it's just a possessed Lois Lane just knocking the heck out of Superman. And then we had Superman, the Man of Steel number 14. This was a team up with the Tim Drake Robin, where they fought Babe the Vampire. Oh, yeah. Jimmy had questionable taste in women. Jumping ahead to 2002, we have Superboy number 100. This was the final issue of this edition of Superboy. Dan DiDio comes onto the title, and it just gets canceled. That's an amazing coincidence. We also have Superman number 183. This is one of Jeff Loeb's final issues of the series. Clark Kent, You're Fired. This was really wrapping up storylines that started in 1999 with Lois agreeing to kill one story for Lex to sell the planet basically back to Bruce Wayne and to bring Perry White back. And to get around that, Clark writes the story, but they don't have the evidence, so he gets fired, but it's all a big plan. So it's just a really... God, I love Jeff Loeb on this book. We also have Young Justice, number 46. Very timely, rocking the vote. Okay, it's June, but I guess 2002. Yeah, there's always elections going on here. And Justice League Adventures number 8, which I forgot about. Thank you, Steve, for reminding me of this one.
Oh, good.
It has Superman on the cover getting taken out, which is very on brand for the first season of Justice League. Jumping ahead to 2012, we have Action Comics number 10, which I remember this is like dead smack dab in the middle of Grant Morrison's run, and it got weird going forward, but at least it was enjoyable. I guess is the best thing to say about that. In the real world, on June 10th, which is this Friday, Man of Steel number 1 was released in 1986 in 2 exciting covers.
Big day.
One proving Clark Kent has questionable taste in clothing, and the other proving he has questionable taste in ties. So there's that. Also on June 11th, Sherman Howard, who was Lex Luthor on the Superboy series seasons 2 to 4, was born in 1949. I see him a lot on Law and Order.
Yeah.
And I've also seen not Sherman Howard. Well, obviously Sherman Howard, but Michael Shea from
from
Lois and Clark.
Yep.
And they were never on an episode together, and that's the bane of my existence. I got Jimmy Olsen from Superman Returns playing the grandson of Ross Webster, but I never got 2 Lex Luthors on an episode together. You really need to get your act together, Law and Order.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you for that, Michael. That was This Week in History. A busy week indeed. Yes. And now we do have a caller waiting on the line. It's Mark Lax again joining us from his home. Welcome, Mark. How you doing?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling in again this week. Going to get into the comic book side of things, which are always exciting. And this week we have... I want to talk about Action Comics Annual number... or 2022 annual number 1. There is the cover on your screen right now. It was an interesting story. I really enjoyed the look between how Clark Kent, Superman, grew up in comparison with how Mongol grew up, and the parallels between their childhood, the way that their mothers treated them, and the stories behind how they became the men or the creatures or whatever you want to call Mongol that they are. I was really impressed with this issue. I'm wondering what you thought of it, Mark.
Oh, I thought it was great. I mean, it's, they thing with Ma Kent having cancer. I mean, that that was. At first, I was kind of like, when did that happen? And I realized that they were just kind of,
throwing it in there.
telling the story to get, yeah. But I thought it was well done, and the parallels, like you said, with Mongol and all of that. It was really good. Now I think, I don't know, did what's his name, Spur? Is that his name? The writer. The other writer, because it was Philip
Oh,
K.
yes.
Johnson.
Yeah, I can't think of the other writers, how you pronounce it, but yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not sure who wrote what. I was assuming either they both wrote it all together, or maybe Phil Kennedy Johnson wrote the Mongol stuff because he's been doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but either way, I mean, it was really good and was very enjoyable.
Michael, Mind the Gap in the comments is asking, has there ever been a story told where Martha Kent did have cancer and any other version of the story before?
No, there was the Armageddon 2001 annual where she had dementia. But I don't think there's been one where she's had cancer. So that's kind of that's a new direction, because usually she was dead in his adulthood. So kind of hard to get cancer when you're dead, which is a dark joke, but I'm going to stand by it. But no, I don't think we've had that.
No. So it was an interesting story to see how Clark dealt not just, I mean, he knew that his mum was ill and what have you, but the way he dealt with this character in the story that was giving him a lot of grief, and it kind of worked out very nicely in the end. So I just wanted to touch on the annual there. Sorry, Mark, we've got a bit of interference with your audio. I don't know if maybe you can put your phone somewhere where it's not being jiggled around. That might.
I'm trying.
All good.
Is that better? Is that any better?
Yeah, that is better. Thank you. So, Superman Annual, I just wanted to make a mention of that so that if fans haven't read it, might be interested in reading this story. You don't have to know what's going on. Obviously, Mongol is a character that is currently in the world of Superman on Action Comics, and the whole War World thing happening there, but you don't have to know what's going on to be able to read this annual. But let's get into what is available this week in the world of comic books. And this is the stories that you can read this week. We have the big event that DC is doing. Dark Crisis #1 is out this week, and it is available in a myriad of different variant covers. We've got one there of John Kent. We've also got a big front and back cover. We have another front and back cover. We have, what else do we have? We've got variants coming out of our backsides with this particular Dark Crisis #1. Here they all are. I'm just going to flick through them. There's Nightwing. There's the Justice League. There's Doomsday and Darkseid. There's what's his name again, Michael?
Pariah.
Yeah, Pariah. That's right. We had him last week reading a comic book, and there's a foil version of this cover also available. Then we've got Dark Knights of Steel #7 is out this week, and that is available in a number of different variant covers as well. Also out this week is the DC Pride 2022 #1 one-shot, and that is also available in a couple of different variant covers. I'm not sure if there is a foil version of this, but they've got it twice. And then there's also this wraparound cover of a number of the characters, including Dreamer. And then there's a special edition of Justice League #75 out this week. It does have a bonus story that wasn't in the original Justice League #75 that came out a few weeks ago. Our review of that bonus story will be up on the website tomorrow. And then also this week, Multiversity Teen Justice #1 is out this week, and that is also available in a number of different variant covers. There is a Supergirl involved in this Teen Justice team, obviously being from a different universe. There is a blank variant cover that you can get an artist to draw a sketch on, and a female Robin version. Also out this week is Tales from the Dark Multiverse #2, a trade paperback. and that is out this week as well. So that is what you can get if you're a comic book reader this week. I'll take a break. Somebody else talk.
Yeah, I was about to say, wow, that was a lot. I guess I'm going to have to read this annual now.
I reviewed the Teen Justice.
Yes, you did, Mark. What did you think of that?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. There was a lot of variant covers that got a little confusing as to what was what by who, but no, it was. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I didn't really think I was going to enjoy it that much, and I kind of had a good time with it.
Very good, and everyone can read Mark's review when it gets published on the site tomorrow morning. But we're going to let you go, Mark. Appreciate you calling in and having a chat with us today. It's always good to hear from you and to get to see you. So thanks so much once again for calling in.
All right, guys. Take care.
See you, Mark. Bye-bye. That was Mark Lax. I appreciate him calling in and being part of the show, and apologise again for the audio, a little bit clunky, with a little clicking going on there, but hopefully it wasn't too painful. Wanted to make mention of this DC Universe, DC in Concert. It's a big thing that DC put up about DC in Concert. For the first time, the DC Universe is coming to the Symphony Hall. Fans will unite to see these epic films on larger-than-life screens with the amazing scores performed live by your orchestra. No John Williams Superman.
I think that might have to do with the fact that that's already happening. Yes,
of course. We have Superman in concert elsewhere in London.
Yeah, so this is more, DC except for Superman. I also think it's kind of funny that 4 of these are movies that haven't come out yet. I'd be interested in going to see the Batman one.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Elfman's Batman score is one of my favorite movie scores of all time.
And it's interesting they chose the Justice League theatrical.
That's interesting. And I'm wondering if that.
Maybe you know what? Maybe because the orchestra cannot sit for 4 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say 4 hours is that's a long time. Which is too bad because I rather liked the score to Zack Snyder's Justice League 4-hour cut. If you want black and white variant, if you don't, it's okay.
Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. I do want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Everyone on the YouTube channel there who participated live. Mark, Mind the Gap, Butson, Kenneth, JP, Amethyst, John Patrick Van Pelt, and so many more who tuned in tonight to chat with us live and be with us tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. Don't forget the Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois is on this coming weekend, so we'll make sure if you're in the area you get to that. It's on for 3 days over this coming weekend. Wish I could be there. Maybe next year. We'll see how we go. But thank you also to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
Remember, if you tuned in late, missed part of the show, want to catch it all over again, you can do so both on our website, supermanhomepage.com, and our YouTube channel. We'll be back next week on Monday, June 13th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice, on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.